Greetings to the DFG-End, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, just want to pick up on the book of Enoch, where we left off. Matter of fact, if you remember, well, you should remember, but our last discussion, we talked about, the intercessors when we pray. We talked about Penuel, we talked about Raphael, we talked about Gabriel, we talked about, Michael, all of these, what I guess we call archangels. But these are the highly esteemed angels of Yah. And again, so I want to pick back up on 41 now. That was in 40 that we discussed. And now 41 you're going to find out to be pretty interesting. And again, this book was hidden from us for a very good reason, because there are a lot of discoveries here that explain a lot of the phenomenons that are going on on the planet today. Things that we're seeing, that we're thinking that we're seeing for the very first time. But in all actuality, these things have happened, in some cases, for thousands of years. And I was looking in the book of Joshua, just to give you an example. And I know we're talking about Enoch, but Joshua is in our book as well, another book that was hidden from us. But when I was reading in the book of Joshua a little earlier today, one of the things that caused Yah to destroy the earth through Noah, warning the people, by the flood, by the waters, we know that. But I did not realize that a major reason why Yah destroyed the earth was surely for the wickedness, but they were gene splicing. They were playing around with genetics, crossbreeding. Just like you see them doing now, mixing different species of animals, creating a new species. They're trying to do it now with cloning, human cloning. That's exactly what they were doing in Noah's day. Now, you won't find that in the book of Genesis, but you will find that in Joshua. And Yah was very explicit that was against creation, and that was man's arrogance, professing themselves to be Elohim, or really trying to elevate themselves above Elohim through creationism, if you can believe that. And that's exactly what you see men doing now when they try to go to Mars and go onto the moon and all these different planets and stuff. What they're doing is they're trying to build another Tower of Babel to go up into the heavens to attack, fight, or destroy the second coming of the Messiah. And see, these books reveal those secrets. That's why they hid them from most people, but definitely from the true people of the book. Us, the Israelites, Yehudi, for lack of a better word. Or say, not for lack of a better word, to say correctly. But Enoch, again, has many, many secrets that have been kept from us through these secret societies, masonry, science. They just lie and lie, just make up all kind of stuff. Evolution, the Big Bang. And when you get these books, it's hard to argue. They will have a hard time trying to defend their position on science when this stuff was written long before these idiots were ever born, before their concept of science ever existed. And there are things that they wouldn't want to explain, let alone couldn't explain. All right? But anyway, let's go now to chapter 41, and let's read some here. It's gonna be a short lesson tonight, so hopefully you got a few minutes that you can join me on this journey. Okay? Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Okay, the book of Enoch, chapter 41. After this, I beheld the secrets of the heavens and of paradise. And that's something that doesn't get discussed a whole lot. Paradise. We know about Adam and Eve being expelled from the Garden of Eden, which we call paradise. But paradise is still in existence. I know we talked about that before. When Columbus and all these other explorers, when they were coming to the New World, they were looking for the fountain of youth, the so-called fountain of youth, or paradise. The land of milk and honey. That's exactly what they were looking for when they came here, Turtle Island. And they did find treasure here. They found the most precious treasure here. The apple of Yah's eye they found here. Many of our ancestors, the Israelites. Not all of us, but a lot of us were already here. And of course, some of us came over to the transatlantic slave trade through, through the Caribbean, etc. All right? But anyway, I digress on that. He says, but after this I beheld the secrets of the heavens and of paradise, according to its divisions, and the action of mankind, as they weigh it there in balances. So Yah is looking at our action, looking at our behavior. And when he took Enoch up there, Enoch was able to look down and see all these wonders going on with mankind. But they weren't wonders, he was just looking at mankind in their every activity. That's the easiest way to say it. And I saw the habitations of the elect and the habitations of the righteous. It says holy. But he saw what the elect were doing, like many of you doing right now. That we do all the time. The acknowledgement of Yah. The you know what I'm saying? The praising of Yah. The glorification of Yah. Those are the elect of Yah. That's what we're going to spend our so-called free time doing in reflection and meditation, teaching and learning. Reflection, meditation, teaching, learning. 4 things. Again, reflection, meditation, teaching, and learning. Are you doing those things? Again, reflection, meditation, teaching, and learning. The last one is probably the most important of all 4. Learning. Continually learning. That's what we all are instructed to be doing. Praise Yah. And as I continue. And there my eyes beheld all the sinners who denied Yahuwah of glory. Now you see, the lying church today that they're trying to get everyone back in. Many of these lying churches telling people that by grace you saved and there is no more sin because, white Jesus died for you and therefore he died for your sins. That's a lying doctrine according to this book. You would never be able to teach this and teach that doctrine. So why would they want you to see this? Because they want to tell you there aren't any sinners. Once you confess and you believe, there aren't any more sinners. According to this book, there's a lot of them still out there. And a lot of them are going to be there at judgment. We know that. Yeshua warned us, broad is the path, wide is the gate that leadeth into destruction. And he said, many will go in that way. The path of destruction means damnation. But Enoch is saying he looked and he saw paradise. And then he looked and he saw where the elect were. He saw where the saints of Yah were. But he also saw where the sinners were. Let's continue. And there my eyes beheld all the sinners who denied Yahuwah. Now can we stop there for a second? Why did he put that together that way? Why did he say the sinners denied Yahuwah? So is it his way of, or is it Yah's way of warning us today? Because Judah, let's have an honest conversation here. How many of your children are atheists? I'm just asking the question. How many of your children are atheists? I know many of you say, well, none of them. Have you had a conversation with your child lately and asked them, was he an atheist? And better yet, does he demonstrate that he or she is a believer? Because they'll give you any answer to shoo you away because they don't want to be bothered. But as Yeshua told, if they say they're not an atheist, then there should be signs that reveal that they aren't atheists. Right? Yeshua said you'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. I bring this forward, this information forward, this commentary that forward right now, because what you may not realize is that if your child is an unbeliever, that makes them a sinner. That makes them a part of those who are going to be damned. And this is where your fight comes into play. This is where your resilience, your persistence, your continual teaching and striving and fighting them and tugging on them and pulling on them and pushing on them to break that yoke of unbelief off of their necks. Because if you don't, and Yah decides to take them off this earth. It's no sense to bring them into those churches with no funerals with some lying preacher talking about, no, don't worry about his sister. He's in heaven now with the angels. That's a damn lie. That is a lie. That's a lie. If they're unbelievers, they're going to hell. Don't waste your time. Just call some friends, light some candles, get something to transport the body, dig a hole, throw some dirt on top of it, and call it a day. Now that's some truth. But you need to hear the truth, my brothers and sisters. All of us need to hear that kind of truth. Now you have to ask yourself the question. You follow me? Are you putting in the work? First of all, for the fathers out there, if you still have children who are not adults, Yah said that you're supposed to, at least through Solomon said, you're supposed to be training up your children in the knowledge and in the ways of Yahuwah. He said, train up a child and lead it in the way that it shall go. So when it is old, it will not depart. Not depart from the faith. You train them up in the knowledge of Yah, and he says that when they become mature, they will blossom in Yah, and then they will pass that knowledge down to their children. But many of the men of Yah have neglected them. I'm a believer, but I ain't got no time. Okay. Do you have time to die? It's a question for you. Do you have time for death? I can assure you, death has time for you. And death has time for your loved ones as well. So you need to be thinking about that. You need to take some time to reflect on that, my brothers. And secondly, it is your responsibility. It's like when Yeshua told those men, that wasn't Yeshua, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put them words in Yeshua's mouth. I think that's Paul. Paul made a comment that a man that didn't take care of his children was the same as an unbeliever. In other words, he said he was an infidel or unbeliever and that he would be damned. These sinners, according to Enoch, that Enoch saw, were going to be dealt with because they did not believe in Yah. Sincerely believe. Not a knowledge of it, but a heart, mind, body, and soul for Yahuwah. Can we continue? It says, and there my eyes beheld all the sinners who denied Yahuwah of glory, and whom were expelling from there. The angels were taking them out of wherever they were. Matter of fact, look how explicit it says, who were expelled from there and were dragged away. He dragged them away, kicking and screaming. They were being dragged away, kicking and screaming. So all of you who have children or loved ones or siblings or friends, neighbors, etc., who are sitting there telling you this whole thing around, Yahuwah and the Creator is a big hoax and a lie and it was made up, you just tell them that's fine and dandy. But when they're dragging your ass to hell, just remember what you said. Because that's what the book is telling us. And by the way, this was written for you, Judah. This book was written for you, Judah, or Israel. And Yah, again, is making it perfectly clear. You deny me, I'm going to deny you. Think about it. Why did he have to drag them out of there? Now, they may have been in paradise. They may have been at the white throne judgment. I suspect the white throne is in paradise, I might add. Not in some, we really, if you think about it, we really have never really heard a true explanation where Yah's throne sits. Well, maybe you have heard if you've been following these lessons. His throne sits in paradise. Amen? Just saying. But he said they're going to be dragged out of there. And this is the punishment. He said, y'all ain't going to have to do it. The angels going to do it. Y'all judgment is that they're going to be in everlasting torment. And that's why they're going to have to be dragged out there kicking and screaming, because they already know where they're going. They're going to have the vision and see it. Plus, they're going to see what's happening to the ones who are getting dragged out there before them. You're talking about, it's like sheep before they go into a slaughter, or a hog going to a slaughter pen, a cow. If you've ever been around a slaughter pen, those animals know and they can smell blood, and they can smell death. They have very good instincts. And if you ever go around, you'll see them really being resistant. And they almost have to force them into them death chambers. And that's the same way it's going to be with all these unbelievers out there, all these unbelieving family members that you have. That many of you, quite frankly, are allowing it to exist. An unbeliever can never live in my home. If I've got a 15-year-old or 18-year-old, maybe not 15, I have to work on that one. But if I've got one who's considered an adult age, he's not going to be in my home and be an atheist. And I've had that experience with my oldest son. He was going through a rough spell in his life, and he needed shelter, and I took him in. But it was conditional. He was going to sit in on Bible studies, and he was going to sit in on Bible studies and teachings every Wednesday and every Sunday. And he was professing to be an unbeliever too. But he was there. That was the condition. That was his rent. And lo and behold, when he left, he would call me on Wednesday nights. Hey, Dad, what was the Bible study about? And I'm telling him, I didn't tell him. I said, unbeliever. But he was very excited. He wanted to know. And it's a good thing he did, because Yah took him off this earth exactly about 1 year later. Had I not been training him up in Yah and opened the book and put the book in front of his face and made it conditional, he would have died as an unbeliever, and he would be going to hell. But because I stood up to the plate, and my son wasn't 17, my son at that particular time was in his 20s. So he was a man, and he could have told me no. But for whatever reason, Yah put enough stillness in my heart, enough love in my heart for my son, to not only give him provision or assist him with his living, but also give him something that would carry him into the next life. So these consequences that you hear me reading about right now did not befall him. And it doesn't have to befall your loved ones. But what are you doing about it? That's the question. How resilient are you being? How tolerant are you being about it? It ought to be, like Joshua said, if you're going to be in this house, you're serving Yah. Then our Uncle said, as far as me and my house, we're going to serve Yah. He was making it clear. If you ain't serving Yah, hit the door. And that's the problem in many of these households, Judah. You got a bunch of unbelieving men and women, daughters, friends, spouses, that you just fellowshipping with, hanging out with. You follow me? And not realizing that everything that you're not doing to elevate Yah is a missed opportunity, that maybe Yah would take that thorny heart out and put a heart of flesh and maybe bring them in. If you do your part. One plants, another waters, and Yah does the increase. But most of you, Judah, doing nothing. Not all of you, of course. But many of you are doing absolutely nothing. Well, it ain't up to me. I can't force religion on you. You're damn right. You shouldn't be forcing religion on, because ain't nobody talking about religion. I'm certainly not talking about religion. Religion can kiss my copper color ass. I'm a believer. I'm a Yehudi. I believe in Yah. I would never be a part of any type of sorcery and witchcraft and all the other wickedness that's entangled in religion, organized religion. No way. Hell no to the no, no, no. Let's get back to the book. And there too, my eyes beheld the secrets of lightning and thunder, the secrets of the wind. Now think about that, my brothers and sisters. There's a secret to lightning and thunder. I thought that was just nature's natural occurrences. That's what we've been told. The water evaporating into the clouds, and the clouds, combusting, and now you've got thunderstorms and rain and lightning. That's not what the book is saying. The book said there's a methodology. That's a methodology to this particular thing, or to lightning and thunder, and there's secrets to the winds, and how they are distributed as they blow over the earth. The secrets of the wind, the secrets of dew that's on the ground, and of the clouds. And he said, there I perceived the place from which they issued forth. They're all coming from the same place. I think it's hidden in plain sight. I just don't think we have eyes to see. I think we're so consumed and so carnal-minded, so naturally induced. I think when we separated ourselves from Yah at the fall of Adam, and then the second fall when we rejected Yeshua, who had come to guide us back to Yah, I think Yah has blinded us in part. I think that we can't see it. It's right in front of us, but we can't see it. That's why it looks like it's coming out of nowhere to us. But it isn't. Let's go on. Then I perceived that the place from which they were issued forth and became saturated with the dust of the earth. There I saw the wooden receptacles out of which the winds became separated. The receptacle of hail, the receptacle of snow, the receptacle of the clouds, and the cloud itself, which continued over the earth before the world. Over the earth before the world. Over the earth before the world. Watch my hands. Over the earth before the world. Not around the earth. Over the earth before the world. In other words, the entire planet. Earth. It's the most interesting thing. You know, all of our ancestors up until about maybe 150 years ago understood how the earth was laid out. You hear what I said? All of our ancestors up until about 100, 200 years ago understood how the earth was laid out. And on these last 3 or 4 generations, through the Rockefeller indoctrinated educational system, got us to believe something totally different that none of us has been able to verify, because none of us have been to a place so high that you could see it. And they have meant that all kind of experiments to find the elevation, not the elevation, but the curve, and could not find a curve. I mean, going from place to place, distance to distance. You know, sometimes you'll watch, and I'll give you a classic example, and I'm not going to stick on this long. The curvature that we're asked to believe. You know, well, people, so let's just say if you're standing on the seashore or on a lakefront, anywhere, and you see a boat, and you see it going and going and going, and then it disappears, right? Off the plane. Your natural inclination would say, okay, it's the curvature. You know, it's too far away. It's in the curve now. That's why I can't see it. But do you realize that if you get a pair of binoculars that are strong enough and put them on, you can still see it, and it's still level? Still level. That's a fact. If you've ever been on a plane, and I'm going to stop this, you can see a lot of distance when you're 30,000 feet up in the air, looking out the window. And I have yet to see the curvature, and I must have flown now 5,000, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 times. Too many times for me to count. Most of my dog life has been on planes, going and coming. I never saw the curvature. And the book is not talking about the curvature as well. So you can believe man, you can believe the book. That's your decision. I'm not trying to persuade you either way. I'm just giving you the information. You do it as you wish. It says, I beheld also the receptacles of the moon, whence they came, whether they proceeded, their glorious return, and how one became more splendid than the other. And I marked their rich progress, their unchangeable progress, their disunited and undiminished progress, their observance of a mutual fidelity by a stable oath. The sun goes out first and completes its journey. Uh-oh. 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 What journey? Thought the sun was 100 million miles in a stationary position as it relates to the earth. What journey? You mean like going around the earth? Their disunited and undiminished progress, their observance, I know I've read this, I'm going to read it again, then the fidelity by a stable oath, the sun goes out first and completes its journey in obedience to the command of Yahuwah. Potent is his name forever and ever. After this, the path that both concealed and manifested the moon, as well as the progress of its path. Thought these things were stationary. I mean, my eyes see them moving. Your eyes see them moving. I mean, you got to just stand there and if you watch it, you'll see it moving. Ever so slowly, but you'll see it moving. Or don't watch it. It'll be one place at 9 in the morning, another place at 12 in noon, and another place at 3, and another place at 6. So our eyes seem to think it's moving, but our brains have been taught that it is not. I wonder which one we should believe. What the book says, what science says, or what your eyes say. Oh, man. I know I lost some of you guys on that, but praise y'all. I'm talking about the rationale and the reasoning, not leaving the lesson. Let's go on. After this, the path that they both concealed and manifested the moon, as well as the progress of its path, and were completed by day and by night, while each, one with another, looks towards Yahuwah. Wow. So they're looking towards Yahuwah. Where's paradise? If they're looking towards Yahuwah and they're shining on the earth, where's paradise? If they're looking towards Yeshua and they're shining down on the earth, where is paradise? When we get farther in the book of Enoch, you're going to find out that it's here. It's here. It's not somewhere in outer space. Goodness gracious. It's here. It was always here. To the north, if you remember. But we'll get back in that. Not tonight, but we'll get back into that. Magnifying and praising without cessation. Since praise to them is rest, for in the splendid sun there is a frequent conversations to blessing and malediction. The course of the moon's path to the righteous is a light, but to sinners is darkness. Let me read that to you one more time. The course of the moon's path to the righteous is light, but to the sinner is darkness. Darkness means ignorance. They have no understanding of what they're looking at except for what they were told through social engineering educational processes. And they paid a lot of men and money, some of them, to be dummied down. I bet the dumbest beast on this earth could tell you if the earth is round or not. And I bet you the dumbest beast on this earth can tell you whether or not the sun is moving or the earth is spinning at 30-something thousand miles per hour. Or 30-something, I think it's 30-something thousand miles per hour. One of y'all can correct me on that. And you can't tell it's spinning, but you get on a merry-go-round or a roller coaster and it's spinning nowhere near that fast and you're dizzy. But yeah, we're walking around a planet that's supposed to be spinning at 33,000 miles or whatever it is, and we can't feel anything. What man believes to deny Yah? What would a man believe to deny Yah? Just about anything, unfortunately. To deny the existence of Yah. Because then he can be God. Or they can be God. And I do mean God like dog, but, we don't have to get into all of that. I'm surely not talking about, they want to be Elohim, but they'll never reach those heights. They tried it, and it didn't work out already, many, many times. And they're trying it now. You saw the space shuttles and stuff. See what happened when they went too high, huh? Y'all send them back in pieces. Verse 7. I'm sorry, verse 6. And the course of the moon's path was right to righteousness is light, but to sinners is darkness. And the name of Yahuwah, who created a division between light and darkness, separating the Rahuk men, men who were strengthened in the Rahuk of the righteousness in the name of his own righteousness. Nor does the angel prevent this, neither is he endowed with the power of preventing it. For the judge beholds them all and judges them all in his own presence. So he's saying the moon doesn't judge anybody. You got these people moon worshiping, sun worship. Say those things don't judge anybody. Those things honor and praise Yah. They know who Yahuwah is. They know their purpose and what they're done, and their course, and they're very disciplined in it. Unlike many of us. But they're there as an example for us to remember. Yeah, those things are simply there to tell you there is a creator. I'm talking about the moon and obviously it benefits us on this planet, of course, with the things they do for us, tides and the sunlight for growth and for healing, etc. But very similar to Yah, if you think about it. Light and darkness, moon, sun brightening for healing, for nurturing, for growing. Think about it. But their glory is to Yah. Where's your glory? Who's getting your glory, Judah? Again, who's getting your glory? This end of Sabbath, Saturday night, Judah, who's getting your glory? Ask yourself, who's getting your glory? Some girlfriend, some boyfriend, some husband, some wife, some game, some games, some play games, some PlayStation. Who's getting your attention tonight? Who normally gets your attention? You son or daughter of the Most High. Who's getting your attention? I want you to think about that. But anyway, we're going to wrap this lesson up. It's almost 32 minutes. We'll be back next Saturday, Yah willing, and we'll go on. It's just going to get better, brothers and sisters. When I mean better, you're talking about eye-opening stuff. And again, I am not trying to persuade you on anything. I'm letting the book speak for itself. I'm just bringing forward the message. Again, get your Bible. Again, I released a video earlier today talking about the Cipher Bible, and I'll let that video speak for itself, but I was shocked to find out something about the cost of that Bible just recently. But check that video out, and you'll learn more information on that, okay? Anyway, Judah, may Yah bless you. May Yah protect you. May Yah put his Rahuk all through you. May he give you safety. May he give you mercy. May he give you grace. May Yah put his fire inside of you, burning, and that zeal, that zest. May that fire make you on fire for Yah. And equally important, may Yah bring to you peace. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.